July 28, 1979. Atlanta, Georgia. 2 boys are found dead in the woods. Edward Hope Smith, 14. Alfred Evans, 13. Police investigate. No leads. No suspects. The cases go cold, September 4, 1979. Another body. Milton Harvey, 14. Strangled, October 21, 1979. Another. Yusef Bell, 9 years old. The pattern is impossible to ignore. Black children. Boys. Disappearing from poor neighborhoods. Turning up dead. By March 1981, 29 children and young adults will be dead or missing. All black. All from Atlanta's poorest communities. The city will be gripped by terror. Parents will lock their children inside. Schools will empty early. No one will feel safe. The FBI will join the investigation. The nation will watch. And eventually, they'll arrest a suspect, Wayne Williams, a 23-year-old black man, aspiring music producer. The prosecution will argue Williams killed at least 2 of the victims, possibly all 29. The defense will argue he's being framed. That the real killer is still out there. Possibly a white supremacist. Possibly a Ku Klux Klan member. The jury will convict Williams of 2 murders. He'll be sentenced to life in prison. Police will close 23 other cases without trial. They'll call them solved, but here's what haunts people 40 years later: the evidence against Williams is circumstantial. Fiber evidence. Probability. Nothing conclusive. Meanwhile, several of the murders don't match his pattern at all. Some victims show signs of sexual assault. Williams was never accused of that. Some were female. Williams allegedly only killed males. Some died while Williams had alibis, and after Williams went to prison. 3 more black children vanished in Atlanta under eerily similar circumstances. Were they all killed by Wayne Williams? Or did Atlanta close the cases prematurely because they needed a black suspect to calm racial tensions? Did they sacrifice justice for political expediency? Was Wayne Williams a serial killer? Or was he a scapegoat? 43 years later, the question still divides Atlanta. And the families? They still don't have all the answers they deserve. Welcome to Case Unknown, where we investigate the crimes that exposed hidden evils, the cases that divided nations, and the stories that demand to be told. Last episode, we examined the O.J. Simpson trial, a case about celebrity, race, and corruption. Today, we return to the 1970s and 80s. To a city gripped by terror. To 29 dead children. To a conviction built on fiber evidence and probability. This is the Atlanta child murders. Not just a serial killer case, but a story about systemic racism, political pressure, and what happens when solving a case becomes more important than finding the truth. What happens when a city needs a suspect more than it needs justice? You're about to find out. This episode discusses the murders of children and young adults, systemic racism, and allegations of police misconduct. We'll examine evidence, patterns, and theories from multiple perspectives. This case involves victims as young as 7 years old. If you need to skip this one, we understand. Summer 1979. Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta calls itself the city too busy to hate. It's the crown jewel of the New South. First major southern city with a black mayor. Home to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. A symbol of racial progress, but in the summer of 1979, that image is about to shatter. July 28, 1979. 2 bodies are discovered in southwest Atlanta. Edward Hope Smith, 14, and Alfred Evans, 13. Both shot. Both found in wooded areas. Both black. Police investigate but treat the deaths as isolated incidents. Probably gang-related, they say. Wrong place, wrong time, but then it happens again, September 4, 1979. Milton Harvey, 14. Found dead. Cause of death, strangulation. October 21, 1979. Yusef Bell, 9 years old. Strangled. His body found in an abandoned school. His mother, Camille Bell, is devastated. But she's also suspicious. 4 black boys dead in 3 months. In the same area. And police are calling them unrelated. She starts asking questions. She talks to other mothers. They share her fears. Something is very wrong. March 1980. Another body. Angel Lanier, 12 years old. The first girl. Tied to a tree. Sexually assaulted. Murdered. The pattern is undeniable now. But police still won't connect the cases. Why? Because some are shot, some are strangled, one is sexually assaulted. Different methods mean different killers, they say, but the victims? All black. All children. All poor. All from the same neighborhoods. By summer 1980, parents are terrified. Children are disappearing every few weeks. Some bodies are found quickly. Others take months. Some are never found. The media finally catches on. Local news starts reporting, "Are Atlanta's children being hunted?" June 1980. 7-year-old LaTanya Wilson vanishes from her home in the middle of the night. Someone cut through the screen on her window. Took her from her bed. Her body is found months later. Atlanta erupts. A child taken from her own home. This isn't random. This is a predator. Mothers form the committee to stop children's murders. They demand action. They accuse police of not caring because the victims are black and poor. If these were white children from Buckhead, Camille Bell says, they would have caught someone by now. Police finally create a task force. They connect 12 cases. Then 15. Then 20. Mayor Maynard Jackson, Atlanta's first black mayor, is under immense pressure. The city's image is collapsing. Tourism is down. Businesses are leaving. Parents are keeping children home from school. The FBI joins the investigation. Hundreds of agents. Thousands of tips. But no breaks. By early 1981, the body count is staggering. July 1979 to March 1981, 29 victims. Ages 7 to 28, most are children, all black, most male, 4 females, most strangled or suffocated, found in rivers, wooded areas, abandoned buildings. Atlanta is a city under siege. Curfews are imposed. Police patrol neighborhoods. But still, children keep disappearing. Then, on May 22, 1981, everything changes. A police stakeout on the Chattahoochee River. 2:52 a.m. Officers hear a loud splash. A car is on the bridge above. It stops. Then drives away. Police stop the car. The driver? Wayne Bertram Williams, 23 years old. Black. Lives with his parents. Aspiring music producer, officers question him. Why was he on the bridge at 3 a.m.? Williams says he was going to meet a singer named Cheryl Johnson for an audition. He has an address. Police let him go but take down his information. 2 days later, a body surfaces in the river. Nathaniel Cater, 27 years old. Cause of death, asphyxiation. Police connect the dots. Splash on the bridge. Williams on the bridge. Body in the river 2 days later. They have their suspect. June 21, 1981. Wayne Williams is arrested and charged with the murder of Nathaniel Cater. Later, they add a second charge, the murder of Jimmy Ray Payne, 21. Atlanta collectively exhales. They caught him. It's over, but is it? The case against Wayne Williams is unusual. There's no confession. No eyewitnesses. No DNA evidence. This is 1981, before DNA testing is widely used. What does the prosecution have? Fiber evidence. Lots of it. Let me explain. When police search Williams' home and cars, they collect thousands of fiber samples. From carpets. From bedding. From his car. From his dog's hair. Then they compare these fibers to fibers found on the bodies of 12 victims. The fiber evidence, yellow-green carpet fibers, found on 10 victims. Match rare fibers from Williams' home. The carpet is a rare type called Wellman 181B. Only 82 homes in the entire Atlanta metro area had this carpet, violet acetate fibers, found on multiple victims. Match the lining in Williams' car trunk, dog hair, found on victims. Matches Williams' German Shepherd, bedspread fibers, found on victims. Match Williams' bedspread, the FBI fiber analyst testifies, the odds of these fibers all matching by coincidence. Astronomically low. The defense calls it junk science, the pattern evidence. Prosecutors present a timeline. They argue Williams followed a pattern. He cruised poor neighborhoods in his car, he posed as a music producer/talent scout, he lured young black males with promises of music careers, he killed them in his car or home, he dumped bodies in rivers or wooded areas. They present witnesses who saw Williams with some victims. A witness saw Williams holding hands with Nathaniel Cater 2 days before Cater's body was found. Another witness saw Williams with Luby Getter before Getter disappeared. Williams was seen at a skating rink where several victims hung out. The psychological profile. The prosecution paints Williams as a failed music producer, living with his parents, desperate for fame. They argue he killed young black males out of self-hatred. That he resented his own blackness and his inability to succeed. His behavior after arrest doesn't help his case. Williams is arrogant, confrontational. He insults prosecutors. He claims he's smarter than everyone. He says he's being framed because he's black and successful, but he's not successful. He's deeply in debt. His music production company is a fantasy. He's made no successful records. He's a nobody desperate to be somebody. What the prosecution doesn't have: no murder weapon, no crime scene, never found where murders occurred, no confession, no eyewitness to an actual murder, no physical evidence like blood or semen, no explanation for victims that don't fit the pattern. Crucially, Williams is only charged with 2 murders, Nathaniel Cater, 27, and Jimmy Ray Payne, 21. Both adults, but the prosecution is allowed to present evidence from 10 other cases to establish a pattern. This is controversial. They're essentially trying him for murders he's not charged with. The bridge incident, police testify about the splash on the bridge. They claim Williams threw Nathaniel Cater's body from the bridge that night, but there are problems with this theory. Cater's body showed no injuries consistent with a fall from a bridge. The river current should have carried the body miles downstream, but it was found close to the bridge. Other officers on the scene that night said they heard multiple splashes, suggesting it might have been debris. Not a body. Still, the jury hears, Williams was on the bridge. A splash was heard. A body surfaced 2 days later. It looks bad. Williams' defense team is outmatched and underfunded compared to the massive prosecution. But they fight hard. Strategy 1. The fiber evidence is unreliable. Defense experts challenge the FBI's fiber analysis. They argue, fiber evidence is not unique like fingerprints or DNA. Thousands of homes could have similar carpet fibers. Cross-contamination is possible. Fibers could have transferred at the morgue, not from Williams. The FBI's probability calculations are exaggerated. They demonstrate in court how easily fibers transfer. Touch a carpet, sit in a car, hug someone, fibers move. That doesn't prove murder. Strategy 2. Williams doesn't fit the profile. The defense argues Williams has no history of violence. No criminal record. No history of sexual assault. No history of harming children. Psychological experts testify, serial killers of children are usually white males with histories of sexual abuse and violence. Williams doesn't fit. Moreover, several victims were sexually assaulted. Williams was never accused of sexual assault. Several victims were stabbed or shot. Williams had no weapons. How can he be responsible for 29 murders with wildly different methods? Strategy 3. Police rush to judgment. The defense argues police were under immense political pressure to solve the cases. They needed a black suspect to calm racial tensions. Wayne Williams was convenient, they point out. Atlanta's black community was accusing the Ku Klux Klan of the murders. If police arrested a white supremacist, the city would erupt in riots, but if they arrest a black man? Crisis averted. The city can move on. Strategy 4. The real killer is still out there. The defense presents an alternative theory. The murders were committed by white supremacists, possibly Klan members. Why? In 1980, a Klan member was arrested with a list of black Atlanta targets. Several victims were found with their hands bound, a Klan signature. Some bodies showed signs of ritualistic killing. Klan activity was high in Atlanta during this period. The defense brings in former FBI agent who says the Bureau initially investigated the Klan connection but dropped it when Williams became the focus. Strategy 5. Witnesses are unreliable. Defense attorneys challenge every witness who claims to have seen Williams with victims. They show, some witnesses changed their stories multiple times, some received money from police in exchange for testimony. Eyewitness identification is notoriously unreliable, especially across racial lines. No witness saw Williams actually harm anyone. The defense's fatal weakness, Williams testifies. It's a disaster. He's arrogant, evasive, angry. He insults the prosecutor. He claims absurd alibis. He contradicts himself. When asked about being on the bridge, he tells different stories. First, he was going to meet a singer. Then, he was just driving around. Then, he was scouting locations. The jury sees him melt down on the stand. Even if they doubt the fiber evidence, they don't like Williams. He comes across as guilty. February 27, 1982, after deliberating for 12 hours, the jury returns a verdict. Guilty on both counts of murder, Wayne Williams is sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. Atlanta celebrates. Finally, justice. The nightmare is over, but then something happens that raises serious questions. Police immediately close 23 other child murder cases. They attribute them all to Williams. Without trial. Without charges. Just, closed. Why? Officially, police say the fiber evidence links Williams to these cases too, but many suspect the real reason, political pressure. The city needs closure. Tourism needs to recover. Families need to stop asking questions. Closing the cases means no more investigations. No more expensive task force. No more national embarrassment. But what about the cases that don't fit, cases that don't match? Angel Lanier, sexually assaulted, tied to a tree. Williams was never accused of sexual assault. LaTanya Wilson, abducted from her bed through a window. This shows planning and boldness unlike other cases. Patrick Baltazar, stabbed to death. Williams had no history with knives. Several victims found with evidence of Klan involvement, symbols, rope types used in lynchings. Some families refuse to accept the closed cases. They keep investigating. They hire private detectives. They demand the cases be reopened. Camille Bell, Yusef Bell's mother, is certain Williams didn't kill her son. She points out, Yusef was found with his hands bound in a specific way known to be used by the Klan, but police won't reopen the case. It's solved, they say. Move on. After Williams' conviction, here's the disturbing part. After Williams goes to prison, similar murders continue. 1981 to 1982, 3 more young black males disappear in Atlanta under similar circumstances. Their bodies are found in rivers and wooded areas. Police say these aren't related. Different killer, they claim, but the similarities are striking. Same victim profile. Same disposal methods. Same neighborhoods. If Williams was the Atlanta child murderer, why are children still dying? Williams in prison. Wayne Williams maintains his innocence. For 43 years, he's been in prison. He's never confessed. Never shown remorse. Never admitted to anything. He gives occasional interviews. He says he was railroaded. Framed because the city needed a black scapegoat, he's filed multiple appeals. All denied. In 2005, DeKalb County Police Chief Louis Graham says he believes Williams is innocent of at least some of the murders. He orders DNA testing on several cases, the results inconclusive. The evidence is too degraded. In 2019, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms orders several cases to be reopened and retested with modern forensic techniques. As of 2024, those tests are ongoing. But Williams remains in prison. More than 40 years later, the Atlanta child murders remain one of the most controversial cases in American history. Question 1. Did Wayne Williams do it? The evidence suggests he killed some victims. The fiber evidence is compelling for Nathaniel Cater and Jimmy Ray Payne. Several witnesses place him with victims, but all 29. That's harder to believe. The victims have different causes of death, different dumping patterns, different levels of violence. This doesn't match typical serial killer behavior. Most serial killers have a signature, a specific way they kill. Williams' alleged murders are all over the place methodologically. Question 2. Why were the cases closed so quickly? This is where conspiracy theories thrive. Atlanta in 1981 was under immense pressure. Tourism down 20%. National media calling it the most dangerous city for children. Mayor Maynard Jackson facing re-election. Black community accusing white supremacists. White community demanding action. Some believe the city closed the cases not because Williams was guilty of all of them, but because they needed the story to end. A former task force member, who requested anonymity, told reporters years later, "We knew some of those cases didn't fit, but we were told to close them anyway." Orders from above. Question 3. Was the Klan involved? This theory has never been fully investigated. Here's what we know. In 1980, a Klan informant told police that Klan members were discussing targeting black children to start a race war. Charles Sanders, a Klan member, was arrested in 1980 with maps of black neighborhoods and a hit list. Several victims showed injuries consistent with ritualistic killings. Some bodies were found with rope burns matching Klan lynching techniques. But when Williams became the focus, the Klan investigation stopped. Why? Some former FBI agents say it was deprioritized because Williams was a more convenient solution. Arresting Klan members would have inflamed racial tensions even more. Question 4. What about the fiber evidence? In the 1980s, fiber evidence was cutting edge. Today, we know it's far less reliable than prosecutors claimed. Fiber evidence can show association, that someone came into contact with something, but it can't prove murder. Moreover, cross-contamination at morgues and crime scenes was common in the 1980s. Bodies were stored together. Evidence was processed in the same labs. Fibers could easily transfer. Modern forensic scientists say the FBI overstated the uniqueness of the fibers. The claim that only 82 homes had that carpet, based on limited data from one manufacturer. Thousands more homes could have had similar carpets from other manufacturers. Question 5. Why hasn't Williams confessed? This cuts both ways. If he's guilty, why not confess? He's serving 2 life sentences. Confession wouldn't make his sentence worse. Many serial killers confess eventually. It's part of their psychology. They want recognition, but Williams? Silence for 43 years. That suggests either A. He's innocent, or B. He's a psychopath with extraordinary self-control. Most criminal psychologists lean toward option B. They say Williams' arrogance prevents confession. Admitting guilt would mean admitting he's not the genius he thinks he is. Question 6. What about the murders after Williams' arrest? This is perhaps the most damning question. If Williams killed all 29 victims, why did similar murders continue after his arrest? Police claim these later cases are unrelated, but families of later victims disagree. They point out identical patterns. One explanation: there were multiple killers all along. Williams was one, but not the only one. Another explanation: Williams wasn't involved at all, and the real killer or killers are still out there. The Atlanta child murders exposed deep systemic failures in how America investigates crimes against black children. Failure 1. Initial police response. For the first year, police refused to connect the cases. They treated each murder as isolated. Why? Because the victims were poor and black. If they'd been white children from wealthy neighborhoods, police would have acted immediately. This is a pattern across America. Crimes against black victims are investigated less thoroughly. Resources are allocated differently. Cases go cold faster. Failure 2, media neglect. National media didn't cover the murders until the body count reached double digits. Compare that to high-profile child abduction cases involving white children, which dominate headlines immediately. The missing white woman syndrome is real. Media coverage, and by extension public pressure, is dramatically skewed by race and class. Failure 3, political pressure over truth. The Atlanta child murders investigation was compromised by political pressure. The city needed a resolution. They needed to restore their image, so when Wayne Williams was arrested, cases were closed hastily. Evidence that didn't fit was ignored. Alternative theories were abandoned. This happens more often than we'd like to believe. When public pressure is high, police and prosecutors take shortcuts. They prioritize conviction over truth. Failure 4, inadequate resources. Despite the massive task force, the investigation was underfunded and poorly coordinated. Different agencies didn't share information. Evidence was mishandled. Witnesses were lost. This is common in cases involving marginalized communities. Resources that would be allocated to protect wealthy, white neighborhoods aren't available in poor, black neighborhoods. What we've learned, the Atlanta child murders should have taught us: investigate crimes against all children with equal urgency. Don't close cases prematurely under political pressure. Listen to families, especially when they say something is wrong. Don't ignore evidence that doesn't fit your preferred narrative. But have we learned these lessons? Recent cases suggest not. 29 children and young adults died in Atlanta between 1979 and 1981. Their names deserve to be remembered: Edward Hope Smith, Alfred Evans, Milton Harvey, Yusef Bell, Angel Lanier, LaTanya Wilson, and 23 others. They were someone's child, someone's sibling, someone's friend. Their families still grieve, still ask questions, still demand answers. Wayne Williams sits in prison, convicted of 2 murders. He maintains his innocence. Are all 29 deaths his responsibility? The evidence suggests no. Is he responsible for some? Possibly yes, but we may never know the full truth. Because the investigation was compromised from the start by systemic racism, political pressure, and a rush to close cases, the real tragedy of the Atlanta child murders isn't just that 29 young people died, it's that their deaths exposed how little society valued their lives. It's that justice was sacrificed for political expediency. It's that families were told to accept answers that don't add up. And it's that somewhere, maybe in a prison cell, maybe walking free, the truth remains hidden. Because we chose convenience over justice, the Atlanta child murders changed how America investigates crimes against children. But did it change enough? This is Case Unknown, where we investigate the cases that expose uncomfortable truths about justice, race, and power. If this episode made you think about systemic racism, about police pressure, about whose lives matter, that's the point. 29 families never got complete justice. That's 29 too many. Until then, remember, the unknown is only unknown until someone asks the right questions, and sometimes, the questions reveal more than the answers ever could. This is Case Unknown.